Okay, we're just coming in to give you another variable rate update. So obviously hot topic, we're still answering a lot of questions. Wanted to illustrate a few things that we're seeing on the ground that you're asking us. So first of all, know that the variable rate did not move up this week. We talked last week that the Bank of Canada rate moved. And so that meant that most prime rate was 2.45, moved to 2.7 for most lenders. One thing that people may not be aware of is like a lender like TD actually keeps a different prime rate. They had a 2.6 prime rate, and so with the rate change, they're at 2.85. So not everyone has the same prime rate. And so you see your mortgage is often based on, it will say based on RBC's prime rate or based on TD's prime rate. So just be aware that every mortgage is based on a different prime rate based on the big five banks. Actually, occasionally you see one that's based on National Bank, which is not as common on BC, but that is also an option. Rates cannot change on the variable rate side until the middle of April. That's the next Bank of Canada meeting is. And so nothing can change in the meantime. So a few thoughts to think about here. A lot of economists predicting that we would head into recession, 35% chance we'd head into recession before the end of the year. And so this brings a interesting concept. I'm not so sure we're heading into recession. I'm a bit more of an optimist than that. But the thing about it is that the idea that we'd have a couple rate increases followed by decreases again is very in line with historic data. A lot of times what happens is that the Bank of Canada increases rates for the idea that they would bring them back down at that time. So think of that rough example. It's kind of almost like, I know I have expenses. I know I have to pay a yearly expense, and so I put everything into an account that, like a tangerine account that I can't touch for 6 months to a year. It's not a perfect example, but that's kind of what happens. So the idea that rates would go up with them going back down. So rates going up, like I said, my prediction is one more time, 50 to a third time, very doubtful on a fourth time, being next to impossible. But there is some good data around that. So what's going to happen, though, if you lock in your rate, you're going to come into a situation where you don't have a lot of flexibility. If you have a life change, such as, you get divorced, need to take money out because you're sitting on a bunch of equity, you sell your home, change jobs. So you're really restricting yourself. I talked to a client this morning that had, a pretty good interest rate from last year, was talked into a fixed rate from a bank. Lo and behold, getting separated this year, 1 year into a mortgage, if he had taken a variable, he would have saved $25,000. So not a shabby number there. So if you want to talk about your variable rate mortgage, if you want to talk about anything to do with your mortgage, I want to help you out with that and see how I can best serve you. So there is a link below that you can schedule time to go through everything with me, and we'd love to do that. Have a great week.